This chapter basically deals with the different type of animal tissues, their location, their function, and morphology of animals. And basically that morphology includes the, it's not simply the part of morphology, that's the morphology as well as we can see, we can say the part of their physiology also, the functional part of also animals, including the cockroach, frog and earthworm. So broadly this chapter can be grouped into the part of animal tissues and the morphology of animals. So this chapter, structural organization in animals, can be divided broadly into two different parts, two different groups. One is the animal tissue, and second is morphology of animals. And that morphology includes the morphology of three different animals, like morphology of cockroach, the morphology of earthworm, and the morphology of frog. So broadly this chapter can be classified as the types of animal tissues, their distribution and the function of animal tissues, and the morphology of animals, that include the morphology of cockroach, earthworm and frog. So first of all we have to start with the part animal tissues. So the very first basic question, what is the meaning of animal tissues? So basically if we talk about the different functional aspect of unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, all the functions of digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, that are all fulfilled by a single cell in unicellular organisms like amoeba. Amoeba do all the basic functions of digestion, the respiration, the excretion, the reproduction, and that similar function is performed by also performed by multicellular organisms. Like all the animals are multicellular, the animal kingdom includes the multicellular eukaryotes. So what kind of activities are present in multicellular organisms? One thing is very clear, that multicellular organisms composed of millions of cells, and although all cells are independent and all cells can perform individual function also, it is the basic property of a cell, the structural and functional unit of life is called cell. But in the multicellular organisms, cells can never perform any functions independently. All the cells or group of cells, they work together to perform a specific function. Although they can perform, individual cells can perform a single task, but in practicality, group of cells act together. The group of cells act together to perform a common function. So what are animal tissues? So tissues can be defined as group of cells of similar embryonic origin, and these cells together are specialized to perform a specific function. In group, all these cells are specialized to perform a specific function, and by the nature these group of cells make a structure of tissues, and that tissues may be solid, liquid or semi-solid in their structure. So that group of cells make tissues, and that tissues may be solid, liquid and semi-solid. So in brief, what are tissues? So basically tissues are group of cells of common embryonic origin, and these cells in group are specialized to perform a specialized function, we can say, or they are specialized to perform a common function, and by their nature, by their structure, these tissues can be solid, liquid or semi-solid. So, and remember, in animal body, in different type of animals body, and there are different type of animals, tissues can be grouped into 4 different types, that are epithelia, connective, muscular and nervous tissues. So if we talk about the types of tissues that are present in animal's body are epithelia, connective, muscular and nervous tissues. So basically, animal tissues can be classified as epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. And their specific property of different type of tissues are depends upon the basically cells are in group. Suppose these are a group of cells like this, and outside the cells, these are extracellular substances, also called matrix. So basically, tissues contains a kind of cell, and outside the cell it is called extracellular substance or matrix. So in that system, one individual cell interact with other cells also, and cells are surrounded with extracellular substance or matrix. So basically, specific properties of tissues, or we can say the specific nature of tissues, are depends upon the, the composition or the properties of the extracellular substances. So we can say the specific properties of tissues depends upon number one, that is the nature of extracellular substance. What is the composition of extracellular substance? The nature of the extracellular substance, and second, the communication of the cells present in a specific tissues. How these cells communicate with each other. And second, we can say the feature of communication between the cells. Communication between the cells. So the specific properties and functional part of tissues depends upon the nature of extracellular substance along with the property of communication, how different cells of the tissues communicate to each other. And if we talk about variety of tissues that are epithelia, connective, muscular and nervous, it's basically depends upon the, that depends upon the type of cells, the arrangement of cells, and the third part, what kind of extracellular substances that are present outside the cells. So the varieties of tissues, varieties of tissues depends upon number one, type of cells, second, the arrangement of cells, and third, the composition of extracellular substances. That's fine. And briefly, if we talk about the type of tissues, that is epithelia, connective, muscular and nervous, if we talk about their difference on the basis of their origin and function, so look at the types of tissues that can be briefly differentiated on the basis of its origin and their function. And what are that? Look at here.